I did it my way.
Lovely Paloma Faith, how fabulous to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you, how are you?
Good, excited about today because it's my release of my album day.
How do you feel? Do you feel nervous?
It's like nerve-wracking, and also all of us who are involved, like management and stuff, all we want to do is hang out together and just think it's acceptable to just sit on your phone looking at what people are saying and like doing retweets and stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone who's close to you just gets pretty much ignored for like a few days because every time you're like doing something, you're looking at your phone or your computer being like, please love me. I think my boyfriend feels quite neglected.
Oh, but it's only a temporary thing though, surely.
Yeah, well,
it's just like a week or two. Yeah. It's a different process, isn't it? Slightly different process because you're talking less about, or you're writing less about love this time, more about the world as it is and how you see it.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to write, and I tried to make an album about spreading an epidemic of empathy, compassion and kindness.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the result. And obviously, like, you know, I think the best art's open to interpretation. So some songs do sound like relationship songs, but I wasn't writing about that from when I was writing.
Yeah.
And I just think if the world had a bit more understanding, then we wouldn't be in such a mess. Because it really does feel at the moment to me that we're on the cusp of something quite dreadful.
Oh, I know.
So I'm trying to like bring in some hope in a way.
Because sometimes we lose that. And I'm so glad there are people like you that are doing that, because we need to get the positive message out again. Because there's so much rubbish happening. And so many people that are being, I don't know, looked down on or abused or mistreated.
Well, I'm really excited as well because my website, when it launches, I think it's going to launch in about a week's time because it was supposed to be today, but it's taking so long to build because it's quite a big ask that I've told them. I'm like, okay, I want this and this and this, and it's quite mega. It's broken into 4 sections, and each section tells you 5 ways you can help today, and then it goes on through history. Like there's loads of stuff about LGBT rights, and there's loads of stuff about women's rights and environmental campaigning and how to help with empathy and kindness and stuff, and it's all on there, and it sort of just directs people to like how to help in what little or big ways they can.
It's fabulous. It's like World Kindness Day. I didn't even know that existed until recently. I went to see a movie and it was in support of World Kindness Day, which is Wonder, the movie Wonder. And it's brilliant because we need to be reminded. A lot of people need to be reminded. Can we talk about the people that are your album too, which I was really surprised by. Samuel L. Jackson, first of all, on the opener, which sounds amazing. It sounds really dramatic, but you instantly listen to what he's saying, and he's got such a great voice too. And also Owen Jones, that was such a surprise to see him on there, because that's something that a lot of musical artists wouldn't even dream of doing. So you're kind of stepping outside the box almost. You're pushing boundaries.
I just dance to the beat of my own drum.
Oh, I love that. You do it your own way.
Yeah, like Shirley Bassey. I did it my way.
So what's the reaction to his involvement been like? Because that is really unique.
Are quite negative about it.
Oh, really?
I think, you know, I'm not shy or I'm quite used to being quite polarising. But I think that people who sort of dismiss it before they've listened to it don't really get it. Because when you listen to what he's saying, it's about the politics of hope, and it's about trying to sort of create a world that works in the interest of the majority, and that really seems very base level right to me.
So the negative reaction you've had is from people that don't like the thought of mixing politics with music?
Yeah, or it's like by people who don't like him or his associations, and so immediately dismiss it, having not even listened to what he's saying.
Because they're on the right side as opposed to
and then
left.
Maybe they don't even really want to ever listen to what somebody else might say for fear of maybe being persuaded in that direction.
The power, persuaded by the power of Owen Jones. Yeah, because I suppose a lot of people would be in denial. They'd push it under the carpet. They wouldn't really think about what he's saying and the message, the powerful message.
It's a beautiful message. And, you know, like, it's called The Politics of Hope. And I genuinely believe that's what we need, is a politics of hope.
Yeah, I would agree. Listen, we have a few things in common. I spoke to you before a few years ago, and we both talked about bearded men and bears, because I think you love bears too. And you love the gay scene, whether it's the London scene or just generally around the world.
Yeah.
Yet, bizarrely, we've never been out on a night out together.
That needs to happen.
It needs to happen. It so needs to happen. Where would you take me if we were to go out somewhere?
Maybe Bethnal Green Working Men's Club, because that's where I started out and did lots of brilliant shows there with lots of great performers. And then I'm always a fan of Bistro Tech. Are you?
I don't really know much about it.
You're a homosexual.
I know.
About me. Bistro Tech's like hosts tranny lip syncers.
Yeah.
Which is like a really good, and they have really good food there, so we might go there too.
I love that, because I want to be enlightened and educated and see something that I haven't seen before. So.
You've been to the Vauxhall Tavern.
Oh, absolutely. I'm DJing there tonight,
for
actually.
like Ducky.
Yeah, I love Ducky.
It's that kind of world at Bistro Tech.
Fabulous. The artwork for your album, kind of scary, but beautiful. You've got that doll's face, cracked doll's face thing going on. A bit like Twin Peaks. Did you see Laura's mother in Twin Peaks when she... Did you watch it at the last series?
The recent one. Where
she took her face off. Kind of reminds me of that. I don't know whether that's a good thing in your eyes, though.
Yeah, I love David Lynch. I was watching a lot of stuff about Black... I don't know if you saw Black Mirror, that series.
Yeah, loved it.
But I was really kind of like excited by that, because it kind of put into perspective how very much we are already in the future.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, and... I wanted to do something about that with this, and it's kind of supposed to be symbolic on a sort of superficial level, as in like what's manufactured, what's real, what's not, but also on a sort of symbolic level, in the sense of like how we are kind of persuaded and cajoled into like believing or being controlled in a way, like by a huge, greater system, and like how much of it's real and how much of it is propaganda. And that's why I want it to be broken. It's very complex, and it's hard to sort of go into depth in a really 5-minute interview or whatever. But I do think that we are being controlled by a greater power or whatever at the moment to be more divided. So, with the internet and social media, it sort of gives us an impression of community, but it separates us at the same time. So we don't necessarily see each other as much, and we base our judgment of each other on social media updates, and that could potentially be false. It's like a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, I didn't realise you were so miserable when you had a baby, because on social media it seemed like you were happy." But it's like, well, I don't use it in a confessional way, and it's sort of weird that people wouldn't pick up the phone and say, "How are you actually now you've had a baby?" or something. Like...
We've lost that. I think it was Madonna, wasn't it, who said that we've got social media, yet we're not really connected like we used to be.
Yeah, and it feels like that.
In the wrong way.
So I think that's a danger, and the further apart we are, the weaker we are. And I just feel like we need to like harness community, and that is a lot of the reason why I feel like I fit in with the gay community, because it is a really strong community, and it is about togetherness. And there aren't many kind of pools or circles in the world that are that close. And, I think that's why people like religions and why people like various other outlets for that. But I personally think that we should come together as human beings, irrespective of, like gender orientation, sexual orientation, race orientation, disability, the lot. So
that's one of the reasons why I love The Voice. Obviously, you as one of the judges on The Voice, compared to other talent shows we won't mention, I think it shows the human side of judging rather than just looking down on an artist because they're seen as a bit of a joke. Because we're all human, aren't we? As an artist, we want to feel respected and to have the support.
Yeah.
And Jordan Gray was one of your acts who came to my flat to do an interview, and I thought she was lovely. She was really sweet. And she's
doing comedy now.
Oh my God, it's so fabulous to see her doing that.
Yeah.
Cody as well on George's team.
Yeah. Loved her.
These people that were different in a good way because they were unique and you don't really see that so much on other talent shows where it's reflecting, you know, it's showing every kind of artist.
Do you know what you just triggered something for me. I'm really blown away by one song on the new Sam Smith album, and you'll know which one I was going to say as soon as I say that, but I really felt moved by that hymn song.
Yeah.
And I think that was really brave and important of him to do that. And it's such a beautiful song. And actually, it's things like that and me and George going on to The Voice and doing that are important. And I think sometimes, and you know, when I was talking about my website helping to spread an epidemic of kindness and stuff, it's kind of like quite common for people to associate their ability to help with enforcing change as being a financial one, because charities are geared towards that. Like they go, this is happening, it's really bad, this is how you can help, and it's always financial. But I don't think it is. I think it's about sticking your head above the parapet and actually saying, like, there's something very basic on my website which is like, pull somebody up when they say bitch, because it's very basic to go, that's everyday sexism, and actually that feeds into like a bigger problem. You know, we've got this big sexual harassment scandal going on now, and it's kind of like that's a very base level of feeding into that. And it's the same as if you hear someone say, you know, you faggot this or whatever.
Yeah.
You have a duty, I think, as an individual to go, regardless of whether you are or are not, I don't like that. Please, can you just realise that's not acceptable?
We have to be outspoken about it.
Yeah, and it's like that's how we contribute to change, and it doesn't necessarily have to be digging into your pocket. It's just a personal responsibility, because I think if somebody's punched in the face, I'm punched in the face.
Fabulous to see you. I wish you all the best with the album. Not that you need the good luck, the architect.
I so need the good luck.
So don't. And you look fabulous too, as
Thank you.
always. See you soon.